Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from, everybody. It's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ Stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. Today is Tuesday, December 13th. Hope you're doing awesome out there today. Going to get started with the before market close live stream and ticker request. Normally I make these private for Power Group private members, but today I wanted to go online and make it public because I've been getting a lot of questions lately, a lot of ticker requests, and I'm only one person, so I can only do what I can. Getting a lot of direct messages, emails, and just comments on videos asking for tickers. So from time to time, I like to come on and do a public live stream, and then if you can join, great, and we'll go over it when I have time. Otherwise, you can join powergroup.ca or pursuitofwealthgroup.com. You can check out our memberships. We also have a 1 week free trial. So if you want to join, that's where most of my attention goes. We've got over 50 people in there now, so it does get pretty busy, and I try my best to help everybody out as much as I can, time permitted, obviously. So kind of get started with the live stream. So if anybody does have any ticker requests, make sure to place them inside of the live chat. I see we have some people joining us. Welcome. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for joining the live stream. Kind of get started. We'll look at the market. We'll do a quick update. Before we jump into a market update and analysis, I did do a couple of videos in the last couple of days. I did a video on Tesla. There's some major bearish flags and patterns indicators on Tesla at the moment. Also just did a video on Hexo. Not sure why it's not showing up here, actually. Just posted it. Let me do a refresh here. Not sure why that's not showing up, but anyways, might be a glitch on YouTube at the moment or something like that. But essentially, I just posted it, so you should see it appear there on YouTube any moment. But essentially, they're going to be reporting earnings on Thursday, pre-market, December 15th. So we'll see. Check out that video if you want to learn more on that. But there's no conference call either. They said none for this year. There'll be hopefully one in early 2023. And I'd love to hear from the new CFO as well. So looking forward to that. But going to get into the market update. Taking a look at the crypto space at the moment. So we know that Sam Bankman-Fried has been arrested in the Bahamas, and this is something that a lot of us were waiting for. And I think this is going to be good for the industry because this is likely going to be the poster child that they're going to use to craft U.S. regulations, right? So we know that the U.S. is the ones that are lagging, and a lot of the world usually follows the USA and follows their lead, right? So if they start to craft laws and regulations, maybe it's stable coins, maybe it's exchanges. Maybe we get something from Congress where, the SEC is obviously incapable of doing anything. They go after Kim Kardashian when, for a measly few $1 million. And then Sam Bankman-Fried goes through a $32 billion Ponzi scheme, and they completely ignored that fact. And the SEC and Gary Gensler met with Sam Bankman-Fried. So these people are meeting with the fraudster, and they still missed it. Like, how? It's just absurd, right? And then they're going after Kim Kardashian, going on CNBC bragging about it. So it's laughable. But this is, in my opinion, a good thing because he was supposed to have a Senate hearing and testimony today in Congress, and now he's being detained by Bohemian police officers, right? So he's in jail, and they have an extradition treaty with the U.S., and they could more than likely see that in the next couple weeks, couple months. Sam Bankman-Fried could be extradited to the U.S. And like I said, this is, in my opinion, going to be good for the space because it's likely going to push Congress to get laws and regulations and overstep the SEC's law. They're going through enforcement, regulation by enforcement, and this is likely going to move the needle and encourage Congress to step in and act, right, and appoint either laws or regulations or a specific agency to oversee this because the SEC is just absolutely incapable of doing anything. It's ridiculous. Like, obviously my tax dollars are Canadian, but I feel bad for those in the States paying for those tax dollars, not to get political, but they missed everything. They missed Celsius, Voyager, they missed now FTX, right? There's a ton that they've already missed, and it was right under their nose. They were meeting with them. Anyway, I digress. But this, in my opinion, is going to be positive. We have a new Congress starting in January, and we know that it's going to be Republican dominated by the House. So the House is going to be controlled by the Republicans, and Tom Emmer has said time and time again that a new day is coming once they get control of the House and the new Congress begins in January. So expect Gary Gensler to be under fire. Gary Gensler probably is even colluding with them. In my opinion, he used to work for Goldman Sachs for 18 years, and that guy's just bad freaking news. So hopefully that guy gets exposed and fired, whatever they need to do, bring him to justice. But that guy is nothing but bad news, deleting stuff from his public calendar when he's a public official, not even elected. He's a bureaucrat who thinks he's, king, what. But it's just frustrating to see the state of affairs in Congress, and in not even Congress. He's the chair of the SEC. So, he was put there by Congress, right? So this guy's got to go. And if we have, any kind of ethics in the U.S. political system, these, hopefully in the new year, they're going to bring these people that, have just been completely failing at their job to justice, or either remove them from their role. It's frustrating, to say the least. But obviously nothing happens by coincidence. I think it's all by design. And I think it was stated today that FTX had, they were using QuickBooks. A multi-billion-dollar company was using QuickBooks. So you can't help but laugh at some of this. If the SEC even somewhat pried open the book, said, okay, what are you doing under here? What's under the hood? And it's like, oh, we use QuickBooks and we're a $32 billion operation. Are you kidding me? Right? Anyways, I could go on for days, but taking a look at the crypto space, Bitcoin here still in a daily uptrend. I mentioned that we were still just looking for a higher low compared to 16,000, and we broke to a higher high today. We still yet to see the EMA 12 and 26 bull cross there on the EMAs, so we could potentially see more upside here in the short term, and we have a lack of resistance up to 21,473 on the Bitcoin chart. But if we take a look at movers and shakers on the day today, we have BTC shorts, Code, and HNT. On the bull list, we have BIGG, HEX, and XDC. Also, speculation that XRP could see some upside because of the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. Could see summary judgment verdict at some point, anytime, really, any day. So we could see the judge come out with a verdict, whether it be Ripple win, whether it be SEC wins, whether they split the baby, and XRP sales by Ripple were deemed a security in the early days. They pay a fine, but all the sales of XRP today and going forward are not, or they don't constitute unregistered securities, right? So we could see that. Could be a settlement any day as well. We know that in over 95% of the cases that the SEC brings, we see that the plaintiff usually settles. So with the defendant. So we'll see if that remains the case. Personally, I don't think that's going to happen. What I think is going to happen, Gary Gensler even said it when he was teaching at MIT, however he says it. He said that XRP is a currency. He called it a currency, right? And now Jay Clayton and Bill Hillman, they brought this lawsuit against Ripple, and Gary Gensler stated in MIT multiple years ago that XRP was a currency, and it's likely going to be decided by federal court, the actual state of what it is. But we know that FinCEN, which back in 2014, 2015, already deemed XRP a virtual currency, right? So the writing's on the wall, but he also said in that video that it's likely going to be a Supreme Court. So what I think is going to happen is, I think there's a good likelihood that they could split the baby, and it's likely going to drag on for a while. I think that the case we'll see some sort of win for Ripple, but ultimately, I think that this could go the distance. I think this could go to Supreme Court. So if that were to happen, we need to be aware that this could drag on another 6 months to a year, maybe even a couple years, if this has to go to a Supreme Court, like Gary Gensler mentioned years ago when he was teaching at MIT. And like I said, nothing happens by coincidence. I think it's all by design. And this is to give XRP legal clarity. XRP was created in the US. It was created their office is in San Francisco and Silicon Valley, right? So it's native to the United States. And there's speculation that Bitcoin was created by Russia, created by China. Satoshi Nakamoto said he was a mid-30s, Japanese male. Whether or not, I don't think that's true. I think it was created by a group of governments or some three-letter agency, right? So if the Internet of Information was created by the military, the U.S. military, who do you think created the Internet of Money, right? Way more important than information. So I would say, again, not to get conspiratorial, but I would say it was created by a group of governments, if not a group of maybe three-letter agencies. And XRP was created, and there's and many people say, many influencers say that XRP was created to avoid World War III. And if you look at the petrodollar, if you look at what's going on in Russia and Ukraine right now, Ukraine actually donated to FTX or invested in FTX as well before the collapse. Like we're seeing all of this tied into the global financial system and the central bankers, and XRP is going to be that one currency, in my opinion, that's jurisdictionless, it's permissionless, nobody can control it, it's open. Even if it was deemed a security in the US, XRP would continue to trade on the free and open markets, and it wouldn't matter. Ripple could go away. They could completely bankrupt Ripple, and in this SEC lawsuit, look at the LBRY case. LBRY could go bankrupt and insolvent, but the LBRY token will continue to trade. That is not a security, right? That's ludicrous. So anyway, I digress. Moving on. XRP isn't looking too hot, though. In the short term, we could see a little bit more downside. So don't be surprised if we do see that. XRP, though, one of the best opportunities, in my opinion, over the next couple of months and couple of years that we could potentially see massive ROI. Extremely bullish, my biggest holding to date. The S&P 500 broke to a daily higher high today, and we actually did confirm a weekly bull flag. So we started weekly consolidation, and we broke to a higher high, but we need to be cautious here because as per the .com fractal, it's saying that we could be topping out any time now and into the end of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if we did deviate from this fractal a little bit, though, because the .com fractal, we didn't have the Fed printing trillions and trillions of dollars, and we didn't have the manipulation in the market that we do have today, right? So wouldn't be surprised if we deviated from it a little bit in the short term, and then after we see this deviation, maybe after the end of the year we start to kind of mirror it again. But wouldn't be surprised if we deviated from it into the end of the year. The dollar DXY is still extremely bearish at the moment, but if we take a look at SPY, the weekly bull flag is targeting 435. So in order to lose the potential of a weekly bull flag, we need to lose 391. If we lose 391 on SPY, that decreases the odds that we could see that continuation to the upside to around 435, which lines up with weekly resistance there at 429.96. So around the 430s, 436, I could see this weekly bull flag targeting that region as well. Lines up with our fib level here as well. So a lot of confluence. We're nowhere near weekly overbought. And if we take a look at the dollar is still extremely weak. I've been calling on some massive downside for the DXY. We were overbought on the monthly time frame. If we just zoom out to the monthly here, we hadn't consolidated in about 11 months, almost a full year. And here we are on month 2 of monthly consolidation. Monthly consolidation just means we're losing the low of the previous monthly candle or the previous candle, whatever time frame you're on. It's consolidation. Consolidation just means you're losing the low of the previous candle. So you're pulling back. Monthly consolidation, number 2. And if we zoom into the weekly time frame, we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross as we trend toward weekly oversold. And if we get to weekly oversold, that would likely put us around EMA 26, which would be down around 100 psychological, and also EMA 26 support on the monthly time frame. So I do think that 100 is very likely. We do have these support trend lines to be watching, this green dotted line, which intersects right here with our previous resistance. Old resistance become new support. That's around 103. So I would suspect 103 to be solid support, and then at least come up, form a bit of a lower high, and then break down, right? And if we were to confirm a lower high and a lower low, it would be in a monthly downtrend. That would bode well, extremely well for stocks and crypto. If we confirm a monthly downtrend on the DXY, that'd be the first time since all the way back here in October into the beginning of 2021. So the end of 2020 and beginning of 2021. So that would be notable and very bullish for stocks and crypto. Taking a look at precious metals. So silver has been extremely strong, bouncing for 4 months in a row, up about 40%. Could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, but we haven't confirmed a monthly uptrend. We still need the monthly higher low and higher high. Gold is a little bit weaker comparatively. We could see a bear cross on the monthly EMAs, and it's only been bouncing for 2 months versus 4 months for silver. And if we take a look at the low there, it's only up about 14%. So not even half of what silver is up. So silver showing some notable strength. We're seeing some rumors and narrative floating around saying that we could potentially see a supply shock on silver. So we'll keep an eye out for that. But silver very, very strong comparative to gold at the moment. But we could start to see, in my opinion, gold start to act a little bit more, and the precious metals start to act a little bit more as a safe haven, given the fact that we have all this turmoil and FTX insolvencies, Binance rumored to be potentially next. Speaking of which, I've taken all my crypto off all exchanges. I have 0 crypto on any exchanges. They're all on my Ledger Nano S hardware wallet. So I did have about 10% of my crypto holdings on Binance, but based on everything that I've been seeing, not worth it. I'm going to just hold it on my Ledger Nano S. I also have Uphold, so I can buy and sell cryptos, lots of altcoins on Uphold, including XRP. If you're unsure where to buy XRP, you can just go to my YouTube channel, click on About, underneath sponsors. You can click on Uphold and you can buy XRP and more there. You can literally buy a ton of stuff on there, like precious metals. You can buy, the list is huge. So check that out. Full disclosure, that is an affiliation link, so I do get a kickback from that. But like I said, get all of your crypto off exchanges. Not telling you what to do. This is just what I'm doing. If you're smart, I see so many people they don't want to learn, right? There's a barrier of entry. You can go here and click on Ledger Nano as well. That's a link that, again, an affiliate link. You can go here and you can shop hardware wallets. I personally have the Ledger Nano S. I would recommend probably for the average beginner, the Ledger Nano X, and they now have the Ledger Stacks, which was a collaboration with the person who created the iPhone. So designed the iPhone. So this looks pretty sweet, but again, it's $400, so probably a little overkill. You can even get it on a deal or something like that, maybe leading into Christmas. But yeah, check out the links there on my YouTube page. But I would encourage you to get everything off of the exchanges. Nothing is safe at the moment, and self-custody is definitely worth it. You're going to get a backup seed phrase, and you're going to be in control of the private key. If the crypto's on an exchange, you don't own the private key, and it doesn't take very long to transfer it from off the exchange to the Ledger Nano S. It is a bit of a learning curve, but if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. I'll do my best to help you out. Did a video on Tesla yesterday saying that we could see a lot more downside. I don't think that the $85 price target that I said in that video is going to be met tomorrow by any means. Maybe not even a week from now, maybe not even a month from now. It could be 6 months, could be 12 months. But ultimately, we need to expect a massive correction after a 33x move. So after 4,000% of upside, it's not uncommon to see a 40, 50, even 70% pullback, just like Netflix did, right? And a lot of our names in the tech sector. And Tesla's just been leading the whole market, and it was leading on the upside. Now it's lagging on the downside, right? And if we take a look at the daily time frame here, we are starting, we confirmed a daily bear flag, we confirmed a daily downtrend, and the low of the day today, we lost key support at 166, we hit 156 today. And a lot of people saying that 140 is going to be extremely strong support. Well, if we take a look at the weekly time frame, we do have support at 126 on the weekly, so 125 psychological. So we could potentially bounce, like in my video, there's people commenting saying, 140 is going to be extremely strong support. Well, today we hit 156. From 140, we're only 10% away, right? And this was just a day after my video. So imagine what could happen in a week, what could happen in a month, what could happen in 6 months, right? If we suspect that the .com bubble is going to mirror the everything bubble of 2022, and this .com fractal plays out the same as it did in 2000 in the .com era, and we've seen after the monthly bearish hidden RSI divergence, going from lower highs and lower lows, 4 years later, the price peaked, higher lows and higher highs, divergence. Then we went to monthly oversold. That took, how many days here? Took almost 1,000 days for it to get to monthly oversold. So if we take a look at, from the top there, 1,000 days, that could be into 2024, right? Well into 2024. So we need to come to terms with that reality. And if that does happen, if we head to monthly oversold on the S&P 500 and Tesla has a huge weighting in the S&P 500, then we could see massive downside on Tesla over the next year plus, right? But with taking a look at the Tesla chart, we're nowhere near monthly oversold. SPY's we're closer to monthly oversold on Tesla than we are on SPY though. And in my opinion, we had the same hidden bearish RSI divergence on Tesla as we did on SPY. We were trending higher lows and higher highs, lower highs and lower lows. We had head and shoulders, just like Bitcoin is forming as well. And yeah, exactly why I'm being cautious is because of the fact that we're seeing the same thing kind of play out with that monthly EMA 12 and 26 bear across. Tesla still yet to see its monthly EMA 12 and 26 bear across, which means we could see a lot more downside and another leg down as we target monthly oversold. Again, if you go off the low here to the high, we were up about 3,300%. So don't be surprised if we pull back 60, 70% and hit monthly oversold. That's just how markets work. I mean, if you go from the low here of June 19th to where we are now, we're still up 12x, right? And I was telling everybody and their dog to buy it back here, and everybody, a lot of people are bullish on Tesla, so they hate when I make a video that's bearish saying that we're going to $85 potentially. But I was telling everybody to buy back here, right? And now I'm telling everybody that the risk is to the downside. I mean, look at the chart. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, holy crap, we have no monthly support all the way down to $23, right? And we just ran that hard in a couple of years. You need to expect downside, right? Because if all the hedge funds are buying here, who do you think selling here? The hedge funds. And what do you think they want? They want to be able to load down here, right? It's not super complicated. And if we just draw a trend line here, that lines up well, right? If we give back that whole move, Bitcoin did the same thing, right? If you just go back, draw a trend line, just a rough trend line, you can see here, we came all the way back down. We gave that whole move back. We went parabolic, gave it all back. So if Tesla does something similar, again, that could put us down. Again, it depends where you draw the trend line and how long it takes to get there. If it just went straight down, then we could go as low as $50, right? Well, if it went straight down, that'd put us at like $30, and we know we have support at monthly support at $23. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the most likely scenario is we come down, we test 100 psychological, the 786, we form a lower high, and then we just bounce around, and then maybe we do that into, maybe not going to take that long. But maybe it could come up like that, right? And maybe we could come down flush of 100. I don't think that we'd see much of a flush from 100. Again, $85, maybe if the market gets irrational and, we get a ton of fear and uncertainty and doubt in the markets. But yeah, you can't rule anything out. And I see so many people commenting on my videos, that'll never happen, right? First thing of investing, first rule that I've learned in the financial markets, never say never, right? So be prepared for everything. IMV, WNW, and DOCU leading the bull list today. On the bear list, we have VERY, Coin, and NKLA. Diving into the Canadian space, MJ space, PWR, Labs, and PSDN leading the decline today. On the bullish, we have NOVC, NXTTF, and PCLO. If we take a look at CGC today, it is a daily bear flag. So if we go from the high to the low here, and we're at risk of a daily downtrend as well. So anything under the 0.382 fib there at $3.58 is a potential daily bear flag. And then if we confirm a lower high, which we are forming right now, and a lower low, so from here, if we don't get above 358, and then if we lose support at 281, that's going to confirm the daily bear flag and a daily downtrend. And then we take the measured move, you just take the high to the low, and then move it out to the 0.382 fib. And then it's saying here that we could be targeting 212, which is the low of the pullback there. That we saw at 213, I believe. Yep. So we could potentially be heading back down to the 52-week low on CGC based on the daily time frame. But it's really going to depend on whether or not we see the omnibus spending bill, if we get any kind of negotiations, which we could see on Thursday as well. So like I said, if we see that catalyst on Thursday, that could bode well and be just in time, just in the nick of time to save this chart. But the most important thing for me is we're still in a monthly uptrend. Low, high, higher, low, and higher, high. We're just scouting a monthly higher low here compared to the low at 223 USD. So 223 is going to be key support on CGC. And then the more names that confirm monthly uptrends, the better. If we take a look at Tilray. Tilray starting monthly consolidation, having lost 349 support. So now we're at, we're potentially going to form a higher low and higher high. And we could join the likes of CGC and confirm a monthly uptrend. Again, the more names that do that, the better, and especially the leaders in the space. Hexo going to be reporting, as I did a video, setting a new 52-week low today. But just like CGC, potentially could see with its daily bear flag. But Hexo definitely one of the weaker names. Definitely manipulated a lot in my opinion, but essentially earnings are coming out on Thursday pre-market. I did a video on that. You can check that out. But this could bode well if we see any kind of positive catalyst from safe banking, because we know that we could potentially see an update on Thursday from that, because it's been delayed and negotiations are ongoing and they're trying to figure out how to get that involved, right? Maybe Chuck Schumer can twist Mitch McConnell's arm. Who knows? Maybe Mitch McConnell will step down after this year. Who knows, right? The guy's 80 years old, so he's likely due out anytime. But essentially, and we just have to take it for what it is. And on the flip side of that, it could be, devil's advocate. It could be bearish, right? If we get something that we hear that the safe banking isn't going to be, if we don't get movement on that and it's a negative outcome, and we see a miss on earnings for Hexo, then we could be heading to 10 cents USD, right? We're forming a nice base of support here at 15, 16 cents USD. If we lose 15, I have a buy order at 15, and I'll add again at 10 cents. But don't be surprised, even if the broader market, if S&P 500 were to drop 5, 10, 15% in a short period of time, that would be headwinds, and we could easily see 10 cents on Hexo. We could easily see that bear flag confirm on CGC and target 52-week low that are there around 212, 213. And then we could easily see Tilray come back down and test its lows at around $2, mid twos as well, right? So just got to be prepared for all scenarios. If we take a look at USMJ, so MSOS starting monthly consolidation as well. Was looking at a potential inverse head and shoulders, but we've since kind of negated that. So gonna rule that out, but essentially we're getting close to the all-time low and 52-week low there at 870. We hit a low of 897, but we are at, we could potentially, just like Tilray, change the monthly trend here. So if we hold 870 and then break above resistance there at 1460 from here, then we would be in a monthly uptrend. And again, the more names that do that, the better, and even better if we see it on an ETF like MSOS. In terms of movers and shakers today on the US side of MJ, Ian, LOWL, and CL lead in the decline today. On the bull list, we have FIT, SHWZ, and BEV. And the market has closed. SPY closed at 401. And like I said, it was a weekly bull flag confirming. As long as 391 holds, we could potentially still see this weekly bull flag confirm and see continuation. A little bit of a red flag, though, that we broke it, confirmed it, and then pulled back pretty hard there in the afternoon. So it's all about 391. We lose 391, then it's going to negate the odds of this weekly bull flag. But as long as 391 holds, we could be potentially targeting about the 435, which we also have resistance there at 429.96. So 430, 435, I think, is going to be doable if 391 holds. All right, jumping into the chat. Kisan says, Hexo, you bet. We'll see what Thursday brings. Like I said, it shouldn't be too hard to beat on those estimates. And then if we get safe banking progress and a positive outcome of that on Thursday, which it's tentative for as well, that could be really good for the stock in the space. But on the flip side, if we see a miss on earnings, I think it's going to be a positive outcome, to be honest, at least from the earnings perspective. But if we don't see a positive earnings and positive outcome of safe, then that's not going to be good, right? Especially in the short term. But medium to long term, I'm okay with dollar cost averaging and just continuing to accumulate and just continuing to be patient. Like Warren Buffett said, the stock market is a mechanism from transferring wealth from the impatient to the patient. And I'm just going to outpatient everybody else, right? I know that MJ's not going away. I've hedged my bets. I've got diversified. I've got American and Canadian producers. I've got retailers. I've got ETFs. I've got 14 different MJ positions. I've got crypto, right? I've got more altcoins and utility coins in crypto. I've got more dollars invested in crypto than I do MJ at the moment. It's getting close to around the same, but that's going to change over the next couple of months. And like I said, looking to see that full-blown alt season, and then I'm going to take those profits and rotate them into more beaten down MJ. So hopefully, to be honest, would like to see alts run first, and then rotate those profits into more beaten down MJ. That would be the ideal scenario at this point. We've waited this long. Why not, right? Hey, Rod. Thanks for joining the stream, Jamlosi. Yeah, I watched it. Perfect. Yeah, sometimes there is a lag. I watched it too. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. Let's just refresh it. Go to videos. Yeah, sometimes YouTube's super glitchy. It's still not showing up. Huh. Let's just try my other website here, or other web browser. So if I go... streaming right now, so apologies, it is a little slow. Huh. Yeah, it's not showing there. All right, I'll put it in the description then of this video after the fact. Not in the live chat, it'll be in the description in the comment section. I watched your Hexo video 21 seconds after you posted it. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, you must have saw it in like a social post or something like that, did you? Or did you get a notification from YouTube app? Hi, Rod. Hope you have a great day. Thank you, Renee. I appreciate it. Likewise. Thanks for joining the stream. I have a question regarding today. CPI came in better than expected at 7.1. How come the market boomed at open and gave it all back? So right now, if we just zoom into the daily time frame. So yeah, it's hard to say. We're still, there's no technical damage to the chart though. We almost lost the daily uptrend, but we didn't see more follow through, but we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross. I think it's just the weekly time frame. We hadn't consolidated in over a month, and we're just due for weekly consolidation, but we could see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross on the weekly. That's a good question. I don't think that anybody really has the answer for that. I think it's just that, we need healthy weekly consolidation, and we didn't really see a weekly higher low. We lost the low there at 393.30, but we only dropped 391.64. So we only dropped by not even 0.5%. It was like 0.4%, right? So not much of a pivot point to form that higher low, right? Because the last time we formed one was down here at 368. So maybe we need to come down and form a bit of a higher low, but we still need to confirm a daily uptrend. So we lost the daily uptrend, but we didn't see much follow through. So now, in my opinion, we need that higher low and higher high to be confident that the weekly higher low is set. But yeah, it could be a multitude of things. FOMC rate decision as well could come in better than expected. So maybe that would be the time where we form a weekly higher low and a bottom on the weekly time frame leading into that FOMC rate decision. I think they're going to turn dovish. I think they're going to pivot a bit, and it's going to come in better than we expect, right? Like lower than we expect, right? We're accustomed to 75 basis points. Canada said that on their last rate hike for the year that they could potentially be easing as well. So follow the leader type of thing potentially. But I do think that we could see a favorable outcome from the FOMC rate decision this month. But that's a good question. I don't have the answer. I'll be completely honest. I don't have the answer for that. I think it's just due to the lack of consolidation that we've seen on the weekly time frame, but no technical damage from a weekly standpoint. If we take a look at the monthly standpoint, we're still in a monthly downtrend though. Anything under 429.96 is a monthly lower high, and we still haven't confirmed a monthly uptrend yet with a higher low and higher high. So bears are in full control of the macro of the monthly time frame, but bulls are in full control of the weekly time frame at the moment. So no major red flags here from a weekly standpoint. We just need to maintain this weekly uptrend, and then once we do start monthly consolidation, we'll look for a higher low. Still got a lot of work to do though from a bull perspective. But yeah, I think it's just mostly technical. Also, what is a spin-off? What is a spin-off do if you have time to explain? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Renee. What do you mean by a spin-off? I think there might be with your translation there into English, maybe it just didn't come through as it would if you can try typing it in French too. I might be able to understand better. I'm bilingual, so just can't speak it as good as I can understand it. I'm a little rusty on the speaking aspect. What's your take on ESPR? So yeah, we'll get into. I do want to take a look at some ticker requests. So normally we look at the POW Group private community. So I'll look at we had a request in there first. So I'll do those first. Just give me 1 second. I'm just checking in on the news here in the POW Group private community as well. See if there was anything that came on while we've been live streaming. So nothing really in terms of news, but Alicia would like to take a look at NLCP. So let's take a look at that first, and then we'll jump into the public ticker request. So NLCP on the OTC, New Lake Capital Partners, Inc. You were asking me if I've ever heard of them. No, I haven't heard of them, but I did look them up. They're a provider of real estate capital to state licensed MJ operators. So that's likely why they're paying out a 8.7% dividend on an MJ company. It's because they are a real estate capital provider. So if we take a look at NLCP, we have been bouncing on the monthly time frame for the last 2 months in a row, coming off the low there at $12.70 and hitting a high of $18. So decent move there off of the low. You're talking about 41% and change. But now we need to confirm the monthly trend. Just like all of our other MJ names, we need to come down, form a higher low and then a higher high. Once we're in a monthly uptrend, expect a lot more upside from there and potentially head back to all-time highs around $33. If we zoom into the weekly time frame, we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross as well, and we're in a clear weekly uptrend, just like SPY. Kind of looks similar to SPY actually, with the low, high, higher low, and higher high. Now we're seeing a brief weekly consolidation period of having held EMA 12 here on the weekly time frame. So it's looking really good in terms of the weekly. And we're just looking for a higher low compared to 1421. How do we know that the weekly higher low is set? Once we're back into a daily uptrend. So we zoom into the daily time frame, we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross on the daily, which means we could see another leg down in my opinion. But if that were to happen, let's say we see this daily bear flag confirm, we come down maybe around the mid 15s, then set a bottom, and then what we would need to see to be confident that their weekly pullback is over and we're trending back up toward weekly resistances is we would need a bounce, we would need a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high. Once we're back into a daily uptrend, it could happen from here as well. We could come up, form a high, a higher low, and higher high, but we need that daily uptrend to confirm to be confident that our weekly higher low is set. So if we take a look at our weekly higher low here at 1421, if we zoom into the daily, let's go back to 1421. Then from there, we bounced, we saw a low, a high, a higher low, and we tried to get our higher high. It's been pretty choppy on the daily time frame, but then we went back into a daily uptrend. So once we broke to a daily higher high, we were confident in the weekly higher low being set. So now we need to get back into a daily uptrend, but again, weekly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross could still occur, similar to SPY. So it's basically just mirroring the broader market here at the moment. But as long as 1421 holds, we're still in a weekly uptrend. Unless we come down and form a weekly lower high and a lower low and we enter a downtrend, then that would signal monthly consolidation, right? So if you confirm a downtrend on a lower level time frame, on the higher level time frame, you're usually consolidating, losing the low of the previous candle on whatever time frame it is. So if you confirm a daily downtrend, you're likely consolidating on the weekly, losing the low of the weekly candle prior. If you confirm a weekly downtrend, you're likely losing the low of the monthly candle prior and starting monthly consolidation. Consolidation just means you're pulling back, losing the low of the previous candle. So hopefully that helps. If we take a look at the weekly time frame here, we're well above the 10-week moving average. We're starting to go parabolic here on the 10-week moving average, and we're pulling back, holding that 10-week there at 1643. We are seeing a bit of a red flag here with the stochastic having a bear cross. MACD still nowhere close to seeing a bear cross, but we can't rule that out. But going to be looking for a weekly candle close this week over 1643 to remain bullish on Friday if we can get that closing price over that. In terms of the weekly moving averages, we do have the 50 weekly there. That's the only one defined at 1891. So we came within 91 cents of that resistance, and then we started to see weekly consolidation. So not completely surprising after a huge 41% move. We are seeing a bull cross of the 50 and the 100-day moving average, and a lot of our names in the MJ space are starting to trend back toward their 200-day moving averages to confirm resistance and then to gear up for a potential breakthrough. But look where we topped out, right at $17.95, $18 was the 200-day moving average. And if you take a look at a lot of our other names like TLRY, it got above, slightly above, and then pulled back, right? CGC, slightly above, then pulled back. So confirming strong resistance there at the 200-day moving average. So again, wasn't surprising. That was a great opportunity to sell or go short. But we could, and a lot of our names are gearing up for potential golden crosses as well, with the 50-day moving average below the longer term 200-day moving average. On the daily time frame, when the 50-day and the 200-day cross, that is called the golden cross. And that could be an indicator that we could see a ton of upside from there. So it's looking decent, but again, need to see that monthly higher low and higher high to confirm that monthly uptrend as the most important factor. Let's take a look at ESPR. So I assume you mean Esperion Therapeutics Inc. on the NASDAQ. So on the monthly time frame, we have the low, high, higher low, and higher high. Now we lost that higher low, so we're just scouting at another monthly higher low here compared to 328. So now, again, what do we need to be confident that the monthly higher low is set? We need to confirm a weekly uptrend. So if we zoom into the weekly time frame, we're no longer in a weekly uptrend, having lost some key support there. So now what we need to see is a bounce on the weekly, form a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high. What constitutes an uptrend? A low, a high, a higher low, and higher high. What constitutes a downtrend? A lower high and a lower low, right? So it's just a series of lower highs and lower lows, and then an uptrend is a series of higher lows and higher highs, right? So we need to confirm that weekly uptrend, which likely wouldn't happen for another couple of weeks, in my opinion, before we set that monthly higher low. But we are coming off monthly oversold. We are bouncing on the daily time frame, but it is a daily bear flag. So if we draw the fib tool there from high to low, anything under the 0.32 there at $6.41 is a potential daily bear flag. And if we take the measured move of said bear flag, move it out to around 641, you're targeting about 350, mid 350s, if that were to confirm. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if we formed that higher low around 350. And a lot of it's really going to depend on the broader market as well. Yes, PR. On the weekly time frame, yeah, we had a bear cross of the stochastic and the MACD and a weekly candle close below it. That was a major red flag right here at around 688. And then here we are dropping down into the fours after weekly candle close below the 10-week moving average, a bear cross of the stochastic and the MACD on the weekly. In terms of the weekly moving averages, we also lost the 50 weekly there as well. So look out below Geronimo because, yeah, we have no weekly support there in terms of the moving averages. And then on the daily time frame, we're even below the 200-day moving average. We did have a golden cross, though, after having a death cross and then seeing a massive drop to the downside. Now we're seeing the opposite with the trend reversal, but we're back down below those moving averages. So like I said, it's not looking too good right now. Wouldn't be surprised at all if we hit low fours into the threes as we search for a monthly higher low and a weekly uptrend to confirm. And like I said, it'd be likely a couple weeks before we have that weekly uptrend confirmed because we would need at least a few more candles on the weekly time frame to give us a low, a high, and a higher low and a higher high, right? But yeah, we did have a strong bullish signal there with the golden cross. Just because we have a golden cross doesn't mean you're going to see a massive explosion to the upside right away. It could take a couple weeks, could take a couple months, right? But overall, as long as you're buying near the bottom, not a bad idea to start scaling in now, in my opinion, as we search for that monthly higher low if you're looking long term. And again, if you let me know if you're looking to dollar cost average, if you're looking to add, if you haven't bought it before, give me a little bit of your game plan that can help me with tailoring a bit of a response to you as well there, Boris. But thanks for your comment. Jim Ossie, I got a notification. Yeah, okay, cool. Did CPI number come out? Yeah, it did. So it came in at 7.1, like Jam Losi mentioned just a few comments below. So the market reacted well to that. Hexovid is showing on my feed on the POW page. I just checked again, watched it as soon as you posted it. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, thanks for letting us know. I'm not sure why it wasn't showing up on mine then. That's very odd. I don't know if it's because I'm live streaming or some weird wonky stuff going on, but as you can see, it's still not there on mine. Odd. Yes, it came out today and it beat expected 7.3 and it beat at 7.1. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for sharing. I had a stock H&R. I had a stock H&R, did a spin-off. I receive 170 shares of new stock. Did it mean I lost money due to the spin-off? Oh, like a SPAC? Was it a SPAC? Yeah, it must have been a SPAC or a merger or something. Yeah, that it'd be a ratio. So you would have gotten a specific ratio, but yeah, nothing really should have changed. You'd have to look at the transaction details if there was a premium, but I'm not familiar with that. I can take a look into it a little bit more for you when I have time. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I'd need the details to really to give you my perspective on that. Sorry, my English is not very good. No worries. My French isn't very good, so. Today I add 2,000 shares of Hexo. Nice. I have a buy order in at 15 cents USD. Still hasn't hit yet. Came close. And if that one hits, it's been sitting there for many months. If that doesn't hit, then I'm fine. My bag's packed either way. But if it does hit, great. If not, I'm okay with that too. But if it does hit, I'll be another buyer at around 10 cents USD. Can you look at Fubo, please? Sure. So Fubo testing monthly support there at 232. We had 233, so not a bad idea to bottom fish off of that support. You could set your stop loss maybe under like 225. Look to bottom fish, pretty low risk opportunity. In terms of the weekly time frame, we're in a weekly downtrend with lower highs and lower lows. We were gearing up for a potential weekly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, so this could be a nice name coming out of weekly oversold. We've got a bit of hidden bullish RSI divergence with higher lows and higher highs on the RSI, and we're starting to see lower highs and lower lows on the price action. Not super clear, but the potential is there. Like I said, not a bad idea to go off of a bottom fish opportunity with a tight stop loss. We did confirm a daily uptrend though with a lower high and with the low, high, higher low, and higher high. But then we came down, lost the daily uptrend. Once we lost support there at 271, we lost the daily uptrend, and then we formed a lower high and a lower low. So now we're confirming a daily downtrend. So it's pretty bearish at the moment. One of the most bearish charts out there. But like I said, not a bad idea if you're looking for a bottom fish to enter. Could be a nice day trade, swing trade, looking to bottom fish off that with a tight stop loss, allow a little bit of wiggle room. But we did close over the below the 10-week moving average, and we had a bear cross of the stochastic and the MACD. So it's definitely one of the weaker charts out there. In terms of the weekly moving averages, we did have a bear cross of the 50 and the 100 and the 50 and the 200, and then here we are seeing price continuing to struggle. In terms of the daily time frame for Fubo, we almost came close to a golden cross. Yeah, I like the odds here of a potential bottom fish. So I would, you could even maybe risk 10, 20 cents to see $1 to $2 of upside, right? So not a bad idea to go bottom fishing there off of that support as we look for the 50 to come up through the 200-day moving average, shorter term, crossing through the longer term. Shorter term below the longer term. It's on the daily time frame, and the 50 crosses to the 200. That's a golden cross. Look what happened when we had the death cross. Right, that happened. Price was at around $19, and then we dropped all the way down to $2. And this is another example of what could happen to, say, a Tesla, or if we look at Netflix, right? Netflix from the lows here at March 2020, it went up 153%, which isn't a whole lot. So 200%, right? 2x. And then it dropped 70%, over 75%. So if we could see something similar on like a Tesla, right, that could easily happen in my opinion. From the March 2020 lows, Tesla ran 1,500%. So not 1 to 2x, it ran 15 to 16x. So that increases the odds this thing could easily pull back 75% as well, which would put us at around that 100, like I mentioned. The 0.786 there at 98.99. And maybe even a flush thereof with a head and shoulders target of about $85. So a lot of those tech names, tech ran the hardest, so now it's getting hit the hardest, right? Isn't Fubo a stock that was pumped by a scam YouTuber, Jeremy Financial Education? I'm not too sure, to be honest. I don't really follow them too much, but yeah, it definitely seems like it's definitely one of the weakest charts out there. Personally, I don't know a whole lot about it. I am familiar with it though, but I don't know a ton of information. But just from a technical perspective, one of the weakest charts out there, but could be a decent risk to reward with a bottom fish there off that 232 support. Yeah, he actually did it in the past. Laughing out loud, I actually stopped watching because he pumped and dumped a lot of stocks. Yeah, classic average YouTuber, right? Just after clickbait or just after views. And just looking for exit liquidity, which I'm not about that at all. I like telling the truth and acting in good faith. All right, gonna end it there. I don't think we have any more requests. Just checking in the POW group private community, see if any other requests came in. It's also checking the news articles. All right, gonna end it there. Thanks everybody for joining the live stream. I appreciate all of your contributions as well, always. And if you could smash the like, I would appreciate it. Share the video with anybody who might find value. And be sure to check out the Hexo video that I did earlier based on their earnings. Once again, we're expecting earnings Thursday pre-market, December 15th. And we could also see update on safe banking and the omnibus spending bill there as well. So could go either way. So we'll continue to update everybody. Make sure to like and subscribe. Tick the notification bell and you'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. Good luck on Hexo earnings, you bet. Same to you. Thanks, Rod. Have a good one. Have a good one, Renee. XLM USD, XRP USD chart at an all-time low. Yep, definitely expecting those two to explode. When they do, when one goes up, I think they're both going to go up in a big way. But yeah, I think XLM could easily hit $5 to $8 in the next bull run, and I think XRP could easily hit $11 to $13 on the next impulse wave and basically price discovery and blue sky breakout. Thanks, Rod. You bet. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you again on the next video.